Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And friends, our beloved New Jersey Devils are in trouble. Yes, they are in trouble indeed. Heading back to Raleigh last night for the pivotal Game 2. After trailing 0-1 in the series, thanks to a lackluster Easter Day performance that saw the Devils thoroughly dominated, they return for Game 2, looking to tie this thing up. And unfortunately, the New Jersey Devils fall short, losing by a score of 3-1 in what I would classify as a heartbreaker just because of the magnitude of the game. I mean, everything was there for them. Everything was there. You could have tied this up at 1, come home to New Jersey for Game 3, and it would have been a whole different series. But instead, they now trail the series 0-2 and have a just monumental task in front of them in trying to beat this very good, seasoned, veteran Carolina Hurricanes group. Winning 4 out of 5 is no easy task. It's not impossible, but it will not be easy. But quickly, I want to get to the game. I mean, this one just had so many things that were frustrating. But what you like is the first goal. First period, 3:51, Jesper Bratt following up the Eric Haula rebound. Bratter puts it in for his first of the postseason from Haula and Dougie Hamilton at 3:51. Gives the Devils the 1-0 lead. Don't see the Devils score first goal too often. It was nice to see it in this one. I thought it was going to be a key to the game. And every playoff game, obviously, this Devils team plays much better with the lead than chasing. It was nice to see Bratter get us on the board first. I had some hope and was really looking for that second one. Had we been able to go up 2-0, I do think the crowd would have been very deflated and it may have played out very differently. But obviously that's not how it played out. But Bratter's first in the first period gives the Devils the 1-0 lead. That's how the period would end. Devils outshooting the Hurricanes 9-6 in the first period. And the beginning of the game was phenomenal for the Devils. There was several shifts where they were in the O-zone and you saw the Hurricanes kind of under pressure. And unfortunately, the Devils couldn't sustain it for large portions of the game, but I thought it was a very good, especially early first period for the Devils. Shots 9-6 in favor of the Devils. We head to the second, and unfortunately, that second period, a period in which the Devils have been pretty damn good this whole season, it all fell apart. At 2:57, Gostisbehere gets one to tie the game at 1, and it was on one of those, extended shifts where the Devils are kind of chasing, can't get it clear. And you had a feeling the pressure was kind of mounting throughout the shift. Markey makes a great initial save. Rebound out in front. Gostisbehere buries it for his first of the playoffs from Blake and Aho. Game all tied up at 1. And at that point, I was just like, oh, here we go. Because you just felt it. It just felt, I just hate Carolina so much. You just felt it. It just felt like the tide was turning, obviously. Game was tied. And then, literally in the blink of an eye, it looked like the Hurricanes took the lead when the puck was, I'm going to say 3/4 or so across the goal line. Shout out to Brett Pesce with one of his 2 saves on the day. He swept it under Markey. I think the light went off. The fans were going crazy, and then they reviewed it. It was a pretty quick review. The puck never fully crossed, but Devils dodged a big bullet there. It seemed like they gave up the lead, a mere seconds after the game was tied. But then a few minutes later, they actually did take the lead, and this one really hurt my soul. At 5:54, Devils on the power play, and Martinook gets a shorty. Just comes flying down. It's just terrible play by the Devils. Martinook just comes flying down the wing in on Markey and just rips a nice shot right past him to take the 2-1 lead, shorthanded at 5:54. Martinook's first of the playoffs from Orlov. And at that point, I said, oh, boy, it is all falling apart. We had the lead, then they tied it. We dodged a bullet with the near goal that they had. Devils on the power play looking to take the lead back, and instead we give up a shorty, and that is just can't happen. I mean, it's just so painful to give up a shorthanded goal, especially in a tie game in the playoffs. I mean, wow. So this series so far through 2 games, we've seen, in my opinion, what are some of the most painful kind of plays. We saw a too many men on the ice during a power play. Cannot happen. We saw a delay of game for flipping the puck out, and now we have a shorthanded goal against for the go-ahead goal, which ended up being the game-winning goal, by the way, obviously. We only scored 1. That was the second goal. The game-winning goal was a shorty. Painful stuff. That is how the second period would end. Canes up 2-1, and in the second period, Devils had 9 shots and Canes had 12. So through 2 periods, both teams had 18 shots apiece. 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 18 shots pretty decent shot production by the Devils and pretty good defense limiting the Canes to 18 shots. Everyone knows the Canes are a very high-volume shooting team. To hold them to 18 shots through 2 periods, that's somewhat encouraging. We head to the third. Devils had a lot of chances. Timomeier, a lot of people are down on him. You guys know I'm a Timo guy. Had tons of chances. None of them could go in. He had a couple where he kind of didn't handle a pass cleanly to fire it from that right side. The biggest one was the bouncing puck, obviously. Super unfortunate break for Timo there. I think Bastian had a really good chance. And once again, we made an average goaltender, this time Freddie Anderson, look like Patrick Waugh in his prime. Literally, just all season long, this offense has made average goaltenders look like superstars. Last night was no different. Tons of great looks, and Anderson was there every time. Super frustrating. I was throwing all kinds of stuff during the game. Devils couldn't get one to tie it, and then Jarvis gets one on the empty net at 19:23. 37 seconds left. How anticlimactic as well. It was like we pull the goalie and they immediately score, but it is what it is, and that's how the game ends. 3-1 Hurricanes. Third period shots were 8 for the Devils, 10 for the Hurricanes. Brutal stuff. Brutal stuff, and it's painful because the game was there for the taking. They had the lead. They were playing well. And playing well in a game that many of us were very worried about going into, obviously because of Game 1. But furthermore, adding to our anxiety for Game 2 was the fact that earlier in the afternoon we find out both Lukehughes and Brendan Dillon are out of the lineup. 2 of our top 6 defensemen out of the lineup, inserting Shimo Nemitz, Dennis Cholowski. And credit to them. They filled in admirably. I was hoping going into the game, once we heard the news that Dillon and Luke were out, that we would not lose the game because of the replacements coming in. You know, I was fearing like, oh my God, is there going to be some horrible breakdown with Nemitz and Cholowski on the ice that's going to lead to a game-winning goal or kind of a game-altering play or something of that nature? And it did not happen. We simply lost the game because our offense is absolutely putrid. And it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate that this team has struggled offensively all season long, or at least all of 2025. They cannot score goals consistently. Last night was another example of it, and Game 1 was an example of it. So they've now scored a single goal in each of the first 2 games in a playoff series. You will not win NHL playoff games or even regular season games scoring 1 goal. Give Markstrom something. And my heart goes out to Jacob Markstrom. I absolutely love Marky. It's no secret here that he's one of my favorite players on this roster. Fiery competitor, wants to win, will do anything he can to lead his team to victory. And he's now had 2 pretty damn good games and nothing to show for it because this offense is absolutely anemic. Marky would have had to pitch a literal shutout to get a win last night. And in Game 1, he would have literally had to shut them out. He gave up 2 goals. The third one was an empty net. If your goalie gives up 2 goals in a playoff game, you'd like to believe you have a very good chance to win the game. Not with this club. And I said it going into the game. I was like, Marky's either going to have a shutout and we win 1-0, or Marky holds them to 1 and maybe we could win a tight 2-1 game. But another 1-goal outing for this group, it's just not enough. Special teams have sucked. They were great all year, top 3 in both power play and penalty kill. And they've been losing through 2 games. Special teams thoroughly getting their asses kicked. We go to the game stats. Devils 26 shots on goal. Hurricanes with 28. Faceoffs very close. Devils 50.9%. Canes 49.1%. Devils go 0 for 3 on the power play. Canes go 0 for 3 on the power play. But don't forget, the Devils gave up the game-winning goal on their power play. A short-handed game-winning goal. Disgusting. Devils laying the boom again. 51 hits to 31 for the Hurricanes. Devils 9 block shots. Hurricanes 14 block shots. Devils 15 giveaways, Hurricanes 15 giveaways, Devils 8 takeaways, Canes 3 takeaways. And that is it, my friends. The New Jersey Devils, while playing a much better game than they did in Game 1, was not enough. It simply was not enough, and they need to do more. Been a very quiet series for a lot of guys. I'm not going to start naming them all off, but there's been a lot of guys where you're like, where have you been? Where are you? Some of their faces should be on a milk carton. Quite frankly, I am disgusted. Had high hopes coming into the season, obviously, and then at the Christmas break, your boy Ace was just flying so high. We were looking like a true blue, legitimate Stanley Cup contender. And even the media that hates the Devils, a lot of them were saying the same thing. At the Christmas break, this was an entirely different team. Now, obviously, yes, are we missing Jack Hughes? Absolutely. You'd be crazy to think otherwise. One of the best offensive players in the league. Whenever you're missing that guy in your lineup, you're going to feel it. But we should not be feeling it to this effect. We still have nicohischier. We still have Jesper Bratt. We still have timomeier. But we've been stymied. We have been stymied, and 1 goal per game through 2 is not going to get it done. And the woes of this club continues. I don't really know what to make of this team at this point. We have seen the bipolar New Jersey Devils where you don't know what version of the team you're going to get on any given night. Some nights they are the team that could beat any team in the league, and you saw it throughout the season, beating Florida on their home ice in back-to-back games in November. The team that shut out their rival, the New York Rangers, even though the Rangers sucked, those are always huge rivalry games that are very intense. Shut them out twice at the Rock. They beat Columbus once at the Rock, once in Columbus, about a week apart in March when Columbus was right on our heels for a playoff spot. Those were huge playoff-like games. The Devils rose to the occasion and won both of those. They beat a pretty good Minnesota Wild team in a home-and-home a few weeks back. And so we've seen glimpses of it throughout the year that this team, when they're on their game, is capable of beating anyone. But on the flip side, when they play like garbage, they are capable of losing to anyone. And for the past couple seasons, we've seen this Devils team lose to bottom feeders pretty much consistently, and it's frustrating. Super frustrating. I know a lot of you are pissed off. I'm super pissed off and heartbroken because we waited 2 years for this. We missed the playoffs last year. I'm not going to go on a tangent about that. That was a lost season, a wasted season of a core that I'll never get over. That 23-24 season, what a debacle coming off of a record-setting season, which we made the playoffs and beat the Rangers in a beautiful Game 7 series. And here we are again now. We limped into the playoffs, only getting there because of the nice cushion we built earlier on in the season and the fact that the Metropolitan Division is absolute trash. And we limp into the playoffs, go 1-4 in our last 5 after the spot was secure, and everyone, they're resting guys and blah, blah, blah. In the end, I don't like any of it. It's all part of loser mentality to me. And we limped into the playoffs, and we are getting cooked as a result. Absolutely smoked by the Hurricanes. 2 goals in 2 games, guys. This is not acceptable. And guys got to really look in the mirror now. I thought we were going to see a much better effort in Game 2, which we did. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to win. You got steamrolled in Game 1. You made Game 2 competitive, but either way, it's a loss. A loss is a loss, whether you lose by 6 goals, 1 goal. A loss is a loss, and now we are in a massive hole. Down 2-0 to the Hurricanes, coming back to the Rock. And this is it. Obviously, if they're going to have any chance whatsoever of winning this series, which, if I'm being realistic, obviously it is a very small chance, but it's never over until someone wins 4 games. So I will continue to root for the boys, continue to hold out hope, and hope that they could somehow pull this out. But the odds are obviously stacked against them big time, and it starts with winning Game 3. Go out there in front of the home crowd and show some heart, show some life. Don't lay down and die. The fans deserve way better. We waited 2 years for this shit. 2 years. 2 years after what was supposed to be the turnaround season in 22-23. 112 points in the regular season. A beautiful, beautiful 7-game series win over the New York Rangers after falling into an 0-2 hole. And then Carolina manhandled us in round 2. But we missed last year, and now we're here. 2 years in the making, and this is what we get. 2 goals in 2 games and down 2-0 in the series. Coming back to the Rock. So it starts with winning Game 3. Now, obviously, they have to win both of these at home. Have to win Games 3 and 4 to make it a series. They would then turn it into a best of 3. Headed back to Carolina for Game 5, which is still, not the best situation to be in, but you would certainly sign up for that after we started off the way we did. And so it starts with Game 3. What is this team made of? Are they going to show heart? Do they have any sort of moxie whatsoever, or are they going to lay down and die, get swept, or be out in 5, and prove all of the media and all of the hockey pundits that picked us to get killed right? Do you want to make those people right? Because you're halfway there. Halfway there right now. 2 losses, only need 2 more, and you're golfing. You'll be golfing early May, boys, if that's what you want. Super painful to watch, but they got to come out much better in Game 3, and I do believe if they could play the way they did in Game 2 and bury some of those many chances that they had, they could win the game. They could have won Game 2, but they could not finish their chances. It cannot happen again. It's happened all season long, and I'm not stunned by it. It's just super depressing when you watch it play out on the biggest stage in the playoffs. And the struggles continue. But got to win both games. Obviously, odds are not very good. I know a lot of you are holding out hope. A lot of people have referenced the 0-2 hole to the New York Rangers in that 23 playoff series. And while that is true, the couple major differences I will point out is that, number one, that New Jersey Devils team was better than this team. Going into the season, I thought this team was going to be better than that team, not in terms of points, but in terms of, competitiveness and kind of the ceiling and capability to go on a run. I did believe in this team much more than the 22-23 team, mainly because of the revamped defense and Jacob Markstrom in net. However, the reality is, and it pains me to say, that 22-23 team was in fact better than this Devils club. Now, going back to that regular season, that Devils team ripped off a 13-game winning streak, my friends. Do you all remember the 13-game heater? I know many of you do. A 13-game heater during the 22-23 season. This year's team could not win 4 games in a row. They had multiple 3-game winning streaks and constantly flopped in the 4th game with the chance to get the 4-game winning streak. Couldn't do it. I mean, that's very telling. 13-game heater versus couldn't get 4 in a row. Very telling. That team was better. It is the sad reality. And the other portion of that kind of anecdote that people are throwing out there about the 2-0 Rangers hole is that I do believe this Hurricanes team we're playing right now is much better than that Rangers team that we beat. And so for that reason, it's hard for me to take a lot of hope out of that. I think people are saying it as kind of a coping mechanism or something to kind of keep the hope alive for them. Like, oh, we've been down 2-0 before. It's possible to come back. And it definitely is. I'm never giving up hope. If they go down 3-0, I'll still be hoping the 0.0000001% chance they could win 4 in a row happens. But very different circumstances, in my opinion. That Devils team was better than this one. And the opponent we're playing now is much better than the Rangers team we were going up against. So it is very different, but I understand why people are kind of bringing it up, and it is a fair point. I've seen tons of teams, obviously, in all of sports and hockey come back from a 2-0 hole. But if you're being realistic, the team that we saw for the calendar year 2025 and the first 2 games of this playoffs have not done much to inspire that sort of confidence in me that they are capable of coming back from this 2-0 hole. I'm just not confident in that at this moment. There's nothing, I've seen nothing to make me believe that, but I'm hoping for it. I am hoping for it. But guys, I don't know. This one was painful. I am, in somewhat of a funk right now, a little bit of a depression. You guys know I live and breathe New Jersey Devils hockey. We waited 2 long years for this. I was super pumped for the playoffs, despite the limp in and everything that kind of led up to it, and I'm hoping for the best. Game 3 at the Rock. The season's on the line for these boys. Are they going to come out and play like it? If they could play like they did in Game 2, but bury some of those chances, I think they have a chance to win. Poor Jacob Markstrom, though. My heart goes out to Marky. What a guy. What a guy in net for your New Jersey Devils. I'm just trying to think any other loose ends I kind of want to wrap up here pertaining to Game 2. But Game 3, I mean, if they could come out and win, we might have a series on our hands. Win Game 3, and Carolina might be feeling that pressure for Game 4. I would love to see the Devils tie this thing up. I really would. What do we got here? Hits. Back to the hits. Bastion with 5 hits. Even Nico had 3 hits. Paulie Cotter with 4. Eric Halla with 6. Mercer with 6 hits. Dumoulin with 5 hits. On Dumoulin, that's one of the guys I wanted to talk about. Dumoulin made some excellent plays in the D zone last night. He kind of had several one-on-one battles where he won the battle. One of them, I forget if it was Jarvis or I forget who it was, but somebody had, a break to the net, and he came from behind and kind of reached over with the stick and was very crafty to break up the play without getting called for a penalty. And there was another one where he was one-on-one with somebody as well where he made a great play. But I thought Dumoulin obviously had some very nice plays in the D zone for sure. Johnny Kovacevic, monster game for my man Kovacevic. 7 hits. You love to see it. He is the epitome of heavier, edgier, more violent. You guys know I've loved Kovacevic from earlier on in the season. Was so glad we extended him. I think he's going to be a big part of this defense going forward. And obviously, Brett Pesce, probably player of the game for the New Jersey Devils. Saved literally 2 goals that he saved at the goal line. Blocking shots, just doing everything right. What a find. What a free agent signing. But it was all for naught. A great performance by Pesce. Played 23 minutes. 6 blocks. A hit. 2 goals saved. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Brett Pesce, the cool, calm, and collected veteran on the blue line. I'm glad he's here. I'm sure a lot of Canes fans are missing him. A lot have said as such in comments on some of the videos on this channel and in some of the lives. But yeah, wow. What an outing for Pesce. What an outing for Markstrom. hopefully the boys respond. That's all we could do is hope for a massive, massive response. Again, once again, first goal will be huge. If the Devils could score it, they did it. They did it in game 2, and it wasn't enough to. I'm down right now, guys. I'm down bad. But if they could score first in game 3, I think the Rock will explode, and maybe that could kind of fuel them to a big game and a big win, which would set the table for a very, very interesting game 4, right? If the Devils win this game 3, game 4 is going to be some game. Canes looking to go up 3-1 with the chance to close it out at home in game 5, and the Devils desperately looking to tie it up and make it a best-of-3 series. Win game 3 and anything could happen. One shift, one game at a time. It's super cliche and corny, but it's the reality. Got to go out there, win your battles, win this friggin' game, and then hope for another performance like that in game 4. That's all we could do. I'll be at game 3 at the Rock, screaming my face off, cheering on the boys. I'm sure many of you will as well. And I'm hoping to see a repeat of game 3 against the Canes from that 2023 series. Devils came out and scored 8 goals. Exploded for 8 goals. They were also down 0-2 in the series then as well. Maybe history could repeat itself a little bit and we could have an offensive explosion. I certainly would love to see it. I think it would help the confidence of the group a lot. And obviously, inject some life back into the fan base. I know a lot of fans are super down right now, and the reality is, why? How could you not be, right? We've scored 2 goals in 2 games. We're in an 0-2 hole. The Carolina Hurricanes are our daddy. They have been for 20 damn years, and I hate this team so much. I've talked about it over and over again. I hate this team so much. So much. They've owned us. We need to take something back. We need to finally exercise these demons. They've been killing us for years, and right now, they're doing it again. They are doing it again. Man, I hate this team so much. But let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments. I know there's going to be tons of dooming. Shout out to everyone that came out to the Post-Postgame Live. If you're not familiar, after every game I do a Post-Postgame Live after the MSG postgame show goes off the air where I pull up people's comments and questions and we talk about the game, yada, yada. We celebrate wins and commiserate the losses, and so far in this playoffs, it's been 2 commiseration sessions, unfortunately. I am looking forward to having victory beverages once again. I hope this team gives us the chance this playoffs. I really do, but if you haven't seen one of those, check it out. I'll put the link in the description for that. I'll be doing one after however many playoff games we have left in this run. Hope to see some of you there, and yeah, guys, it's been a rough stretch. It's been a rough stretch, but hopefully this team finds a way to respond and get a big win in game 3. That's all we could hope for. Win game 3. But throw it all out there in the comments, your thoughts on this game. Anything, everything, New Jersey Devils hockey. You just throw it out there in the comments. I enjoy talking to all of you. I'll be back soon. There's always things in the works. And I'll be back. But keep your head up, guys. It's tough times out here, but tough times don't last. Tough people do. And hopefully this New Jersey Devils team shows just a little heart, a little guts, a little desire to win in that next game and gives us something to hold on to. Because right now, down 2-0, it sucks. All right, but that's it. I got nothing else. I'm just physically and mentally drained from this team, from the whole season and this playoffs. Want to see a big Game 3 victory. That's all we could do. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.